Breathe, Maribel whispers, squeezing my hand. I look at her instead of answering. Her white dress fits too perfectly, like it was tailored for a photograph, not a life. The church smells like polished wooden lilies. Too clean. Too staged. Father Elias clears his throat. We are gathered here today. Maribel leans closer. Your hands are cold. I'm fine, I say. She smiles. Not nervous. Anticipating. The priest continues. This union joins not only two hearts, but two legacies. I feel her fingers tighten. Just slightly. Enough for me to notice. I swallow. Father Elias glances at me. The son of a man remembered for his generosity, his fortune, and his influence. Her thumb presses into my skin. Maribel whispers, he would be proud of you. Would he? I nod, because it is easier than speaking. Father Elias says, though his father is no longer with us, his inheritance lives on. That word lands heavy. Maribel's breath catches. She does not look at the priest. She looks at me, eyes shining, lips curved in that careful smile she practices in mirrors. I lean closer. You are gripping me. She loosens her hold. Sorry. I am just emotional. Her voice is steady. Too steady. Father Elias gestures for our vows. Maribel turns fully toward me. Her eyes soften, or at least they pretend to. I never believed in fate, she says softly. But then I met you. When did you meet me? I ask quietly. She blinks. What? Nothing. Continue. Her jaw tightens for a fraction of a second. Then she smiles again. I promise to stand by you. To build a future with you. To honor the life your father worked so hard to give you. There it is. I feel the weight of my empty bank account. The overdue notices hidden in my drawer. The truth sitting in my chest like a stone. I say my vows next. I promise honesty. Her eyes flicker. I promise loyalty, I continue. Even when things are not what they seem. She studies my face. Are you nervous? Yes. She squeezes my hand again. After today, you never have to be. Father Elias nods. Marriage is trust. A shared path forward. Maribel whispers without looking at me, after this, everything changes. I whisper back, it already has. She laughs softly, like she thinks I am joking. Father Elias raises his hands. Do you, Maribel knocks, take this man? I do, she says quickly. Too quickly. And do you, he turns to me, take this woman? I hesitate. The silence stretches. I hear someone shift in the pews. Maribel's nails press into my skin. A warning or a plea? I do, I say. Father Elias smiles. By the power vested in me. Maribel exhales, relieved. As husband and wife, he continues, bound in love and the promise of inheritance. That word again. Maribel smiles wide. Bright. Certain. I look at her smile and finally understand. She is not marrying me. She is marrying what she thinks comes after me. Father Elias nods. You may kiss. She leans in first. Her lips are warm. Confident. Claiming. When we pull back, she whispers so only I can hear, we did it. I look at her knowing smile and think of my father. And I wonder who this wedding was really for. Smile, Maribel whispers through her teeth. People are looking. My jaw tightens. I am smiling. Her hand slides into the crook of my arm as we walk into the restaurant. Cameras flash. Friends cheer. She leans into me, perfect posture, perfect laugh. You did so well today, she says loudly. My husband is exhausted. Her fingers press twice against my sleeve. A signal. Stay sharp. At the table, someone asks, so when do you take over your father's assets? Maribel answers before I do. Soon. There are formalities. I lift my glass. Paperwork takes time. She laughs. He hates talking business at dinner. Under the table, her heel touches my ankle. Not affection. Reminder. Later, in the car, she adjusts her earrings in the mirror. You were quiet. I was listening. To what? To you. She smiles at that. Good. At home, the door clicks shut. The silence changes shape. She slips off her heels. I met with a financial planner today. I look up. You did. Yes. She watches my face. Just to understand things. What things? Our future, she says gently. I nod. We should talk together next time. Of course. She crosses the room, sits beside me, smooths my hair. I just like being prepared. Prepared for what? That night, she curls against my chest. Her fingers trace slow lines over my shirt. When the money clears, she murmurs, we should move. I keep my voice calm. Where? Somewhere quiet. Safe. She tilts her head. Your father would want that. My throat tightens. You never met him. I know enough, she says softly. I stare at the ceiling until she falls asleep. The next morning, she stands in the kitchen holding a tablet. Do you have the lawyer's number? She asks. Which lawyer? She smiles. The one handling the inheritance. I will find it. She watches me butter toast I cannot afford to eat. You are under a lot of pressure. Are you worried about me? I ask. I worry about us, she replies. Later that week, she asks again. And again. About timelines. About taxes. About trusts. Each question is wrapped in concern. Each pause weighs something invisible. One evening, I come home early. I hear her voice from the bedroom. Yes, she says quietly. I know. I stop moving. No, he does not suspect anything. A pause. I just need him calm. My chest tightens. I am doing everything right. Another pause. Softer now. Just a little longer. I step back before the floor can betray me. She ends the call and walks out smiling. You are home early. Work was slow. She kisses my cheek. That will change. Her eyes search mine. Counting. That night, she falls asleep quickly. I do not. Near midnight, her phone lights up. She turns away to answer it. I hear my name. Then I hear the word. Deadline. I close my eyes, because now I know. This marriage is not waiting for love. It is waiting for time to run out. Sit down, the man says before I close the door. I stay standing. You sent a letter with my father's seal. Grant Holloway folds his hands. I did. He has been dead 2 years. Yes. Rain taps the window behind him. The office smells like dust and old paper. I ask, is this some mistake? No, Grant says. This is a delay. A delay for what? For disappointment. I sit. He slides a thin envelope toward me. You did not tell your wife you were coming here. No. Good. I clench my jaw. Why am I here? Grant opens a file. Your father was very specific. About what? About you. That stings more than I expect. Grant looks at me steadily. He did not leave you an inheritance. My ears ring. That is not possible. It is very possible, he replies. Because he did not intend to. I laugh once. It comes out wrong. Then what exactly did he leave? Grant taps the folder. A test. I stare at him. For me. For anyone who came close to you, he says. Through marriage. My stomach tightens. What kind of test? A patience test. A loyalty test. A pressure test. That is insane. Grant does not react. Your father was not a simple man. He was paranoid. He was precise, Grant corrects. He believed money revealed intention faster than time. I lean forward. Explain. Grant opens the folder but keeps his hand on it. The inheritance is locked. No access. No transfers. No exceptions. For how long? For as long as it takes. I swallow. So I married with nothing. Yes. I picture Maribel's smile. Her questions. Her deadlines. Grant continues. Your father believed someone would pursue you for what you represented. I ask quietly, and if they did? Then the inheritance would never be released. My hands curl into fists. You let me marry blind. You chose to marry, Grant says. I chose to observe. Observe what? He finally slides the folder across the desk. Behavior. I open it. Photos. Dates. Receipts. Maribel at a cafe with a man I do not know. Maribel entering this building 6 months before I proposed. I look up. You followed her. We documented her, Grant says. At your father's request. My voice shakes. She met you. Twice. Before she met me. Yes. The room feels smaller. I flip pages. bank inquiries, estate searches. My father's name highlighted again and again. I whisper, she planned this. Grant watches me carefully. Do you trust your wife? I cannot answer. The rain gets louder. Grant leans back. Your father predicted affection. Adjustment. Pressure. She is my wife, I say. She is part of the test, Grant replies. I close the folder. Does she know? No. Does anyone? Only you, he says. And me. I stand. So what happens now? Grant looks toward the window. Now we wait. For what? For her next move. I take a step back. This is cruel. Yes, Grant agrees. Your father believed truth often is. I turn for the door. Grant speaks again. One more thing. I pause. Your father arranged contingencies, he says calmly. If the test was compromised. Compromised how? If love interfered. My chest tightens. What does that mean? Grant meets my eyes. It means this was never just about her. I open the door. Grant adds, your father is still watching. You are home late, Maribel says. I freeze with my hand still on the door. Meeting ran long, I reply. She studies my face like she is reading a clock. You did not call. I forgot. She walks closer. You never forget. I hang my jacket on the chair. The weight inside it pulls my shoulder down. She reaches up and straightens my collar. Did something happen? No. Her fingers linger. Look at me. I do. Her eyes search, slow and sharp. You look tired. I am. She nods like she believes me. Or like she decides to. Dinner is quiet. The sound of forks feels too loud. She asks about work. I answer in short sentences. She mirrors my tone, gentle, controlled. Finally she says, you are thinking very hard. About what? About me, she says softly. I swallow. Why would you think that? She smiles. Because that is how you look when you are trying to protect someone. I picture the photos. Her across a cafe table with a private investigator. Her signing requests for my father's estate history. Dates from before she ever touched my hand. She reaches for my wrist. You are shaking. I am cold. She squeezes once. Come upstairs. Later, she steps out of the bedroom wearing a black dress. Tight. Intentional. You like this one, she says. Yes. She walks closer. I wore it on our third date. I remember that night. The rain. Her laugh. The way she asked about my father without sounding like she was asking. She places my hand on her waist. You feel far away. I am here. Not fully, she replies. Her fingers trace my wrist. The same wrist she held at the altar. The same grip that tightened at certain words. She tilts her head. Do you regret marrying me? The question hits harder than any accusation. No, I say. Then why do you look at me like I am about to disappear? I say nothing. She steps closer until I smell her perfume. Warm. Familiar. I know when something changes, she whispers. I have survived worse than silence. I think of the transcripts. Her calm voice asking about inheritance timelines. Her patience measured in months. She presses her forehead to mine. If something is wrong, tell me. I close my eyes. If there is a problem, she continues, we solve it together. Together. The word sounds fragile now. She pulls back just enough to see my face. You trust me, right? Yes, I say. It feels like a lie and a hope at the same time. She smiles, relieved. Good. She kisses my cheek. Slow. Careful. I love you, she says. I know. Her hand slides down my arm. Then let me take care of you. I almost let myself forget the folder. The proof. The plan. Almost. She steps back and looks at me again. That sharp focus returns. One last question, wrapped in silk. You are not hiding anything from me, are you? Sit, Maribel says, sliding a bowl toward me. You skipped lunch again. I was not hungry. You say that when you are lying. I look at her. No smile. No calculation. Just concern. I made soup, she adds. My mother made it when things were bad. When were things bad? She hesitates. Then sits across from me. Always. I wait. She stirs her bowl without eating. I learned early that if you depend on people, you lose. That sounds lonely. She looks up. It was. The room is quiet. No questions about accounts. No talk of lawyers. She finally eats. You do not have to fix anything tonight. I was not trying to. I know, she says softly. That is why I am saying it. Later, we sit on the couch. Rain taps the windows hard enough to feel close. She rests her head against my shoulder. Do you believe people can change? Yes. Even after they want the wrong things. I swallow. Yes. Her fingers curl into my sleeve. Not tight. Afraid. When I was young, she says, I watched my mother beg. For what? For stability. For mercy. She breathes in slowly. I promised myself I would never be that weak. Needing someone is not weakness. She looks at me. Really looks. That sounds like something someone safe would say. Her hand slides into mine. Warm. Steady. I do not want to talk about money tonight, she says. Or plans. What do you want? To stay here. She leans closer. Just here. The storm grows louder. Thunder rolls through the room. She curls into my chest. I feel her breathing change. Do not disappear, she murmurs. I am not going anywhere. Her fingers grip my shirt. Harder when thunder cracks again. Promise, she says. I promise, I whisper. She relaxes slowly. Trusting. Dangerous. Minutes pass. Maybe more. She falls asleep like that. Heavy. Real. I stare at the ceiling. The files burn in my memory. The transcripts. The dates. Her grip tightens in her sleep. I think about my father. About tests. About intention. I think about the way she did not ask a single question tonight. I wonder which version of her is real. Or if both are. My phone vibrates on the table. She stirs. I hold still until she settles again. I reach for the phone carefully. Grant's name lights the screen. I step into the kitchen. Yes, I whisper. His voice is calm. Too calm. I saw the latest shift. She is not pushing, I say. She is different. That happens, Grant replies. Maybe my father was wrong. There is a pause. Do not confuse softness with surrender, Grant says. She is scared. So was he, Grant replies. That is why he designed the test. I look back at the couch. At her curled body. At her hand still clenched in my shirt. Grant speaks again. Do not let empathy fail the test. It is close, right? Mirabelle stands by the window, arms crossed, trying not to sound eager. Close, I say. She turns too fast. How close? Soon enough. Her eyes brighten before she can stop them. Then her shoulders soften, like she is embarrassed by her own relief. Oh, she says. I mean, that is good. I nod. It is. She walks over, sits beside me. I have been thinking. About what? About us being practical. She touches my knee lightly. Joint accounts make sense. Maybe, I say. And investments, she continues. Long-term ones. Property. I meet her eyes. I am not ready for that. She studies my face. Why? I want to wait. Her smile tightens, then eases. Of course. I forget you like control. I almost laugh at that. Later, we cook together. She hums softly. No pressure. No questions. At dinner she says, I told my friend we should celebrate soon. Celebrate what? Our future, she replies. I take a sip of water. Do not plan too far ahead. She nods. You always say that. That night, she sits on the edge of the bed, brushing her hair slowly. I need to tell you something, she says. I brace myself. Okay. She does not turn around. When I married you, I thought I knew what I was getting. Which was security, she says honestly. A life where I would not have to beg or guess. I stay quiet. She sets the brush down. I will not lie about that. My chest tightens. And now? She finally looks at me. Her eyes are wet but steady. Now I stay because I want you. That is a change. Yes, she agrees. It scared me too. She reaches for my hand. I know how it sounds. It sounds complicated, I say. She squeezes my fingers. Love usually is. I want to tell her everything. The files. The test. The lie I am letting her believe. Instead I say, people can want more than one thing. Her lips curve into a sad smile. I was afraid you would say that. She lies down beside me, resting her head on my shoulder. Do you hate me for it? She asks. No, I say. I understand it. She exhales slowly. Thank you. Her fingers trace circles on my chest. I stayed, she whispers. Even when you pulled away. You stayed, I repeat. Yes. Silence fills the room. Heavy. Loaded. She shifts closer. You know I would give it up. Give what up? The money, she says quietly. If I had to. I look at the ceiling. That is easy to say now. She stiffens slightly. You do not believe me. I believe you want to believe it. She turns to face me. That is not fair. Tests are not fair, I reply before I can stop myself. Her eyes narrow. What does that mean? Nothing, I say quickly. I am tired. She watches me for a long moment. Then she asks, softly, carefully. If there were no money. I hold my breath. If there were no inheritance at all, she continues. Would you still stay? She is stabilizing, Grant says over the phone. No spending spikes. No inquiries. That is good, I reply. It is dangerous, he corrects. It means we are near the end. I stand by the window. Near the end of what? The truth, Grant says. We trigger the final condition. That evening, I leave the envelope on the table. Maribel notices it immediately. What is that? Something from the lawyer, I say. It came today. She does not touch it at first. She circles the table like it might bite. Is it official? She asks. Yes. She sits. Slowly. You should open it. I think we should together. She swallows. Okay. I slide the document toward her. She reads. Her breath changes. Her fingers tremble. This is, she starts, then stops. This says release. It does, I reply. All of it, she whispers. Now. Her eyes lift to mine. Searching for permission. For truth. I stay still. This is real, she asks. That is what it says. Her shoulders rise. Then fall. Relief flashes across her face before guilt chases it away. I did not ask for this, she says quickly. I know. She looks back at the page. We would be safe. We would, I agree. Silence stretches. Her hand hovers over the signature line. I watch every breath. She pulls her hand back. I cannot. My heart jumps. Why? She presses her lips together. Because I know what this will do to us. What will it do? It will make me doubt myself, she says. Every time I am happy. She pushes the paper away. I do not want a marriage built on numbers. I hold my breath. She reaches for the document again. Tears blur her eyes. I wanted security, she says. But not like this. She tears the paper in half. Once. Twice. 4 clean pieces fall onto the table. I feel lightheaded. She exhales hard. It is over. You are sure? I ask. Yes. She wipes her face. I choose us. I stand. Pull her into my arms. She clings to me like the storm is back. I am sorry, she whispers. For everything. It is done, I say. She nods against my chest. I love you. I love you too. She pulls away. I will clean this up. I can, I offer. No, she says quickly. I want to. She gathers the torn pages. Moves toward the desk. I turn away, dizzy with relief. Behind me, I hear the soft click of her phone. A pause. Then paper tearing again. She walks back with empty hands. Gone. Later that night, she sleeps peacefully. I do not. I think about Grant. About my father. About endings. Her phone buzzes once on the nightstand. I glance down. A photo preview flashes across the screen. A document. The signature line still visible. My name already typed. I stare at the screen, my chest hollowing. Because she tore the paper. But she kept the proof. And now I know. She almost passed. Almost. Why is Grant calling me? Maribel stands in the kitchen holding her phone. Her voice is calm. Too calm. He should not be calling you, I say. Her eyes lift. What does that mean? My phone vibrates again. I answer. It is done, Grant says. She triggered the clause. Maribel's face drains of color. What clause? The offshore access, Grant continues. The one only activated by copying the release. I hang up. Maribel steps closer. You are shaking. So are you, I reply. She swallows. I was only checking. Checking what? That it was real, she says quickly. I did not mean to move anything. You tried to access it, I say. You did not just look. Her breath catches. I panicked. Why? Because I was scared it would disappear, she snaps. Then softer. Like everything else. Grant's voice echoes in my head. She presses her palms to the counter. Say something. I ask, how long? Her shoulders slump. Since before we met. The words land hard. You planned this, I say. Yes, she admits. And then I fell in love. With me, I ask. With the life you represented, she says, then breaks. Both. I could not separate them. I step back. You copied the document after tearing it up. I did not use it, she says desperately. I just wanted a way out if everything fell apart. So you could choose later, I reply. Tears spill down her face. I never wanted to hurt you. But you still did, I say. The door opens behind us. Grant enters, rain on his coat, face unreadable. It is finished, he says. Maribel turns. Finished how? Grant looks at her. The inheritance is permanently sealed. Her knees buckle. She grabs the chair to stay upright. You said if I chose him, she whispers. If I walked away. You did not walk away, Grant replies. You kept the door open. She looks at me. I was afraid. Grant nods. Fear was the test. She sinks into the chair, covering her face. I turn to Grant. You said this was about her. It was, he replies. And it was about you. I stiffen. Me. Your father wanted to know if you would sacrifice clarity for comfort, Grant says. If you would forgive before understanding. I laugh bitterly. He is still controlling us. Grant shakes his head. No. He removed himself. What is left is choice. Maribel looks up at me. I love you. I feel it. The truth of it. The damage too. Grant meets my eyes. She almost passed. Almost, I echo. Grant steps back. There is one question left. Maribel reaches for my hand. I do not pull away. I do not hold her either. Grant asks quietly, will you forgive what the test exposed? The room goes silent. And I realize the inheritance was never the point. It was the moment after the betrayal. And what I choose to do now. I was broke. Maribel freezes in the doorway. What? When we married, I continue. I had almost nothing. She stares at me like I have changed language. You said. I let you believe something else, I say. Because my father was already lying for me. She sits slowly. Say it again. I was broke, I repeat. I loved you anyway. Her hands tremble. Then why did you let me? Because I wanted to know what you would choose, I answer. And because I was afraid you would leave. Silence spreads between us. She finally speaks. I was afraid too. Of what? Of being poor again, she says. Of waiting on someone else to decide my life. I nod. The inheritance is gone. She looks up sharply. Gone how? Locked forever, I say. My father sealed it once the test failed. Her breath stutters. So there is nothing. There is us, I say. Or there is nothing at all. She laughs once. It cracks. You sound like him. I know. She wipes her eyes. I married you for security. I know. And I stayed because I love you. I know that too. She stands. Walks the room. Stops in front of me. Do you hate me? She asks. No, I reply. But I cannot pretend anymore. She nods slowly. Neither can I. We stand close. Close enough to feel heat. Not close enough to touch. I need a night, she says. To decide who I am without safety. That is fair, I reply. She hesitates. Will you be here? Yes. She packs nothing. Just her phone and keys. At the door, she pauses. If I come back. Then come back because you want me, I say. Not because you are afraid. She nods. I understand. The door closes. The apartment feels hollow. I sit on the floor all night. I do not sleep. I think about tests. About my father. About the way love and fear sound the same until choice separates them. The sky lightens. A knock breaks the silence. I stand slowly. Open the door. Maribel stands there in the pale morning light. No suitcase. No armor. Just her. And I realize the real test starts now. Maribel stands in the doorway. Morning light spills across her face. I feel every heartbeat in my chest. You are up early, she says softly. I could not sleep, I admit. She steps closer. Neither could I. We sit at the table. The air is thick. No papers. No envelopes. Just us. I know why you stayed, I say. Even when there was nothing. Her fingers trace the edge of her coffee cup. Because I love you, she whispers. Not because of security, not because of the inheritance. I want to believe her. I study the way she avoids my eyes, the way her lips tremble. Every detail is truth in disguise. I was wrong to let the test guide me, I confess. I let my father's plans shadow us. She looks up sharply. Then choose me now, she says. Not the shadow. I reach for her hand. Warm. Real. Fragile. I choose you, I say. For exactly who you are. Not what you could give me. Not what you could take. Her lips part. And I choose you too, she says. The relief is raw, like the first breath after drowning. We sit together in silence. The hum of the city leaks through the windows. Rain has stopped. The apartment smells faintly of coffee and hope. I understood finally, I say. My father's inheritance was never money. She tilts her head. Then what was it? Clarity, I reply. The courage to see truth without the comfort of illusion. To see each other without safety nets. Her fingers tighten around mine. So, we are free. Free, I agree. The word tastes like redemption. I take a folder from the counter. It is the last paper my father left me. I open it carefully. No numbers. No accounts. Just his final instructions. I read silently. His voice echoes in my memory. Love that survives disappointment is worth more than any fortune. I exhale. Maribel watches me. Her eyes glisten with unshed tears. I am signing it, I tell her. Not for money, not for inheritance. For peace. For honesty. For us. She leans closer. Then we begin, without pretense. I sign. The pen clicks against the paper. A weight lifts. She smiles. Tentative, real, unguarded. I pull her into my arms. Our foreheads touch. I do not need anything else, she whispers. Neither do I answer. The last illusion falls away, and what remains is truth. For the first time, love feels simple. Not because it is easy. Because it is honest. And in that moment, I understand my father's final lesson. Some inheritances cannot be counted. They are felt. They are chosen. I close the folder. Peace, at last, is ours.